Hi, I'm Scott Noonan, the CEO of Audio Advice. Today, I'm super excited to show you a killer 7.4.4 theater we just finished installing in an unfinished third floor attic. I'll start by showing you the space before we started and how we attacked the design challenges. Then, I'll show you a full time lapse of the build out and installation. I'll finish by demoing the theater with our binaural mic setup that simulates you sitting in the room. For those of you who subscribe to our channel, you know I like to show something new in every video. So I'm going to focus this video on how to design a theater correctly and then how to calibrate it correctly at the end, including some great tips and tricks for your own theater. I'm going to use what I think is the very best 4K Atmos concert ever recorded as demo material at the end of this video to show you the performance of this theater. When the customer first came to us, he was focused on an all-around great theater. We started by mapping out the room in our free home theater design tool at audioadvice.com. As our designer asked more and more questions, it became apparent that the customer also loves music and wanted this room to also serve as a great audio room. So this led us to design a full 7.4.4 system with high-performance speakers throughout the room. However, we had a number of challenges, including not enough space to put in box speakers or big subwoofers, so we needed to move everything into the walls. So let's take a look at the space at the very beginning. And so you'll see the home theater here is about 20 feet deep by about 17 feet wide. So you can see this is the width, and the windows going forward to the front here, and the transparent screen will go here. It's about 142-inch 2.4 widescreen that'll have the speakers behind it. What's really cool, you can see that's gone in now. We've got 4 JL Audio in-wall subs. These are really cool. You'll see there's 2 up here and then there's 2 on the sides. I'm just going to note, because this is a perfect chance to see them. The technology in this is really pretty amazing in terms of how these actually float, so that when you've got these 13-inch subs just powerfully playing, that it's not shaking everything in the wall because of the way they float these. If you look up in the ceiling, you'll see there's 4 Atmos that have already been put in and ready to go. You'll see we've also got lighting in. We'll come back to that when we're finished in terms of allowing dimmability. But also we want light control in this room in addition to the lights. Because of these 3 windows, you'll see we've actually wired for electronic shades in here so that we can control the light in the room. This is a 12-inch riser here, so there's going to be a set of seats here and a set of seats here. And you can see we've actually wired for the electronic seats themselves, as well as we've got the cable in for the step lighting that'll go right here. Let me show you where the rack's going to be. Again, this totally unfinished space. This is actually going to be sort of a 3/4 bath here, so a homeowner can just live up here. And then if you come around here, just look, this open space right here, we're going to have the rack right there, and we'll show more when it's done. We're going to put a door here so again we can control light coming in and do the same thing from that side as well. Okay, so you can see we've already got the boxes for the sconces in here, the matching ones over here, and then there's going to be a lighting keypad here, and we're going to hide all the dimmers so the homeowner can just choose the different scenes right on the keypad. You'll see it when we're done. And then finally you'll see we've got the rear speakers pre-wired as well and ready to rock and roll. All right, now let's go have some fun and see the final room. We'll start as you walk in. You'll see we actually did full blackout channels here on the electronic shade so that we can totally control the light in the room. Now let's go look at how beautiful the room is itself. And one of the things I want you to pay attention to is not just the design here, but also the use of colors. And so you'll see we use this traditional gray that we like to use in a lot of theater rooms, but we contrasted it with the white columns here, white molding, and then actually using the white speaker grills. And sometimes we will actually custom paint the grills, but in this case, because it matches the columns and it matches the molding, we left the white speaker grills, and it just looks gorgeous. Now, if you come over here, I think I mentioned earlier when we were looking at the room before it was done, you know, having a 3/4 bath here where the homeowner can basically just live up here, and there's a refrigerator over there as well. But if you come back here, you'll see we've actually got the rack totally out of the way. We've got temperature control fans at the top of the rack so we can pull heat out if we need to, but you can't hear anything from this rack over in the room. So that's a quick look at it. Now let's dive into the video part of this room. This room has a JVC NX9 projector that boasts 2200 lumens, which is perfect for this 142-inch acoustically transparent screen. You can see here how the home theater design tool helps you figure out the exact size screen for your room and seating position. In this room, you can see how the tool shows that a 142-inch diagonal screen achieves a higher immersion level, which is exactly what this customer wanted. JVC and Sony are generally considered the top projectors for home theaters when you're talking about true picture quality. What makes this particular projector great for this situation is that it has motorized zoom, so the room can easily switch between 16:9 and 2.4 content with a push of a button. For those of you into cameras, you know how much the lens impacts the image. The NX9 has an 8-element 100mm all-glass lens. In addition, what JVC is known best for is its HDR tone mapping. The JVC has a cool feature where you can input the screen gain and screen size and it will automatically adjust the tone mapping based on total light output coming off of the screen. This enables it to convert the metadata in the film to provide the best brights and darks simultaneously in the video. Watch as I pause this clip from Godzilla vs. Kong and see how much contrast exists in the picture. For those of you who are do-it-yourselfers, we actually send our best practices setup guide to all JVC purchasers so you can get it set up to get the very best picture possible as you see here. If you're setting up your own projector, check out our top 5 tips and tricks for setting up your home theater video. This has some great calibration videos that we use in our installations like this one. I'll show you one tip from that video, which is how to pixel align your projector. All 3 chip projectors like this JVC have red, green, and blue pixels that can become slightly misaligned. Here we've perfectly aligned them just as I show in the tips video. Also, if you're looking at projectors, the successor to the JVC NX9 is the NZ9. Now, let's talk about the screen itself. In my opinion, if you're investing in a good home theater, the screen is one area not to cut corners. The reason is that you may upgrade your surround sound processor or projector over time as new resolutions and formats come out. However, you will likely have your screen for much longer. There are lots of cheap screens sold online, and you've got to be very careful to get an extremely uniform screen that is well made. In this case, we're using a 142-inch micro-perf acoustically transparent screen from Stewart Film Screen. The screen gain is 1.3, meaning that the screen reflects 30% more light than a standard whiteboard would. Stewart Film Screen is based in California and makes this incredibly high-performance screen here in the US. One of the reasons we were able to use a 1.3 gain screen is because we have light control in the room. Otherwise, we would have needed to use a screen with a grayer material with less gain, which would have reduced the brightness of the picture. But because we've installed the electronic shades in the back as well as dimmers for the lights, we were able to combine the 2200 lumen projector with the 1.3 gain to deliver an incredible picture. When looking at an acoustically transparent screen, you want your sound to easily play through it while simultaneously not seeing any of the holes in the screen, which this screen does super well. Depending on the screen, you also want some distance between the screen and your speakers. You can see here that we've got around 5 inches between them. Now let's shift gears for a minute to the audio in the room. Let's start with the speakers. One thing you can see in the home theater design tool is that you can toggle between seeing in-room speakers versus in-wall speakers. You can see that in this particular room, installing the speakers in the walls allowed more space for the theater seats and just worked much better for this room. The fronts are Revel W990s, which are three-way speakers with a 9-inch woofer, so they are full-range speakers that are in-wall. These surrounds and rears are Revel W893s, which are also three-way in-walls with 9-inch woofers. These also have angled tweeters for aiming at the primary listening position. The Atmos speakers are Revel C783s, which have 8-inch woofers, which also have angled tweeters, which are pointing at the primary listening position as well. So now, we get to the really fun part. To make a theater really hum, you need great bass. In this particular case, the customer wanted to do this right without cutting any corners, but there was not room to put large subs in the room. So we opted for 4 JL Audio Fathom 13.5-inch subs. I wanted to spend a little extra time on how these subs were designed and set up, as this may help you think about your own potential theater. If you watch the videos I did on subwoofer placement and calibration, I cover all the various combinations of subwoofer placement using 1 all the way up to 4 subs and how to calibrate them together. In this particular case, we have 2 discrete subwoofer outputs on the Anthem 1140, but we're using a total of 4 subs. So what did we do? We placed the front 2 in-wall subs symmetrical to the primary listening position and the side 2 subs symmetrical to the primary listening position as well. So what we did was connect subwoofer 1 out of the Anthem into the amplifier controlling the front 2 subwoofers and subwoofer 2 out to the amplifier controlling the side 2 subwoofers. You'll also note that we turned off the crossover on both of the amplifiers for the subwoofers, and we used the crossover in the Anthem for bass. So now, when we set the distances for the subs, it is correct for all 4 subs. However, there's one key trick here that I cover in the subwoofer calibration video. Because the JL Audio subwoofers have their own advanced EQ system, there's an approximately 12 millisecond delay in these subs. So when I measure the distance from the subs to the primary listening position to put into the Anthem, it is actually not correctly time aligned. We need to trick the Anthem into thinking that the subwoofers are farther away than they are to compensate for the 12 millisecond delay. It turns out that a millisecond is about equal to 1 foot. So we've increased the distance from 10 feet in the Anthem to 22 feet in the Anthem. In the subwoofer calibration video, I show you exactly how to do all of this for any subwoofer, including a test track that you can use if you don't know the delay in your particular subwoofer. If you're in the market for a great home theater receiver or processor, I have to say that Anthem is incredible. I have one in my own theater, if that tells you anything. As the largest seller of Anthem, we've actually written an extensive setup guide with all sorts of great tips and tricks that we send to all of our Anthem customers. Let me cover one quick tip, which is how to set up lip sync correctly. If you've ever watched a movie and it was driving you nuts that the picture and the audio were slightly out of sync, then you definitely need to use our free YouTube lip sync video. The key is that projectors and video processors take time to process video, which often leads to the sound getting ahead of the picture, and it's often hard to get it perfect. So our production team created a video that shows you exactly how much to adjust your lip sync to match perfectly. We had so much interest in this particular video that we actually put it out on YouTube for free. If you want to try it in your own theater, it's linked in the description. We used some custom-made acoustic panels to give the room a good ratio of reflective and absorptive surfaces. The right acoustic panels can make an incredible difference in how you can hear into the finer details and subtle emotions portrayed in a movie. The panels we used are a combination of all absorptive on the side and diffusive in the back. Now let's go look at the rack for a minute. You'll see we've got the Anthem, the network switch, an Apple TV, Roku, Blu-ray player, and Kaleidescape. Most of you will be familiar with all of these pieces except maybe the Kaleidescape. We just put out a detailed video on the Kaleidescape, but in short, it is the highest-end movie player available in the world. They're not cheap, but if you've invested in an incredible home theater like this one, having a Kaleidescape as your movie source is the icing on the cake. It allows you to purchase movies that are bit perfect, meaning that unlike streaming services, you are getting the best possible picture and full lossless audio. I'm going to use the Kaleidescape for the demos at the end of this video. Now, let's jump over to the control of the system. With this many sources and a rack that is in a totally different part of the home, you need a great universal remote control system. So in this case, we're using the Control4 SR260 remote. You simply hit watch, choose the source you want, turn it on. It'll turn on the projector, all the components that you need, and switch the anthem to the right input. In addition, at Audio Advice, we like to use the color buttons at the bottom for the different lighting scenes. So we can bring down in one lighting scene, and then we can drop the lights maybe a little bit more, and then go all the way down into the darkest scene to the far right. We also use one custom button to change the screen to 16:9 for watching sports and network television, and another custom button to zoom the projector to 2.4 for watching movies. The final custom button is used to open and close the electronic shades. So if you've seen any of our other home theater showcase videos, you've likely seen this chair. It's the Revolution chair, which is our #1 selling chair by far nationwide. It's got motorized recline like this. It has motorized headrest. It actually comes up at a 45-degree angle, so no matter how far you're reclining back, it holds your head to watch the video. And every single chair comes with a premium tray table that pops in and out. And it has dimmable LED lights as well. Incredible chair. Okay, so now let's take this room for a spin. If you have headphones, plug them in so that you can hear the full effect from our binaural microphone here. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna play Hans Zimmer live in Prague, and I'm gonna play the last track of Pirates of the Caribbean, which is just incredible. What this Atmos track does is it puts you in center stage with the orchestra so you can hear everything around you. So with that as the setup, let's jump into the Kaleidescape and hear Pirates of the Caribbean. So I'm going to pause it right here where all the horns were coming in, and hopefully you got the full feel of it. You've got the percussion jamming the entire room, and because we've got the 4 distributed subs, not a single one of them had to strain, and you could just feel it coming through. And when all of the horns came in from the front, it's just hitting you. It's just a great track. Now what I'm gonna do is switch to Red Notice on Netflix, which is a show that's got The Rock in it, so you can expect that they've got some pretty cool battle scenes with some great Atmos effects. So let's switch over to that, take a look, and listen for what's going on. So hopefully you could hear in this clip all of the great imaging coming around. It was quite incredible. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to like and subscribe to get the latest videos like this as we roll them out. Also, if you're considering building a home theater or updating your own, check out our home theater page at audioadvice.com, where we have our free home theater design tool, how-to videos, an inspiration gallery, and everything home theater related. Or if you have any questions at all, give us a call or chat with us at audioadvice.com. We just love audio in home theaters and would be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.